we have learned that. Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Just give me one. Okay. So in this C++ programming, we have to perform some task. And for performing these tasks, we will give some instructions. Okay. In some system defined, language defined keywords. These instructions will use some keywords which are, of course, which are language specific. For example, in C++, we will be using some different keywords. In Java, we will be using some different. In Python, we will be using some different keywords. But yes, these instructions will tell the compiler how to perform the required task. Okay, so this is the basic essence. This is the basic essence of this C++ programming. And these instructions which we will be writing, actually these instructions are called program, or you can say code. C++ program, or you can say C++ code. This program, this code, this instruction will be read by C++ compiler, and this compiler will execute something. Either it will calculate, it will display, it will take input from the user. As per these instructions, this compiler will compile, you can say compile these instructions to perform this specific task. Okay, so basically what we require is, first we require to write these instructions somewhere, and then we use to run the compiler on this instruction to get the desired result. So as this will be an online course, we will be using a online compiler. Okay, a online compiler. In offline mode, we have large number of desktops in which we have installed a software for this compiler software, which will be compiling all these instructions for you. But for now, as this semester is going to be online, I guess, for now we will be using a online compiler, and I have given you the link for that online compiler. As you can see, I have given you this online compiler link, and the link is this: onlinegdb.com/online C++ compiler. And this writing area, this black area, you can see this black area is for writing the instruction, writing the code, writing the program in this C++ language. And as long as if you complete your program, if you write your complete program in this space, then if you press run or F9, if you press run button or press F9 from keyboard, then your compiler will read all these instructions, and will give the desired result in the screen itself. Okay, so this is the basic structure how we will be doing this particular lab, right? तो हम क्या करेंगे अभी इसमें, सी हम कुछ प्रोग्राम्स लिखेंगे, हम कुछ इंस्ट्रक्शंस लिखेंगे अपने स्क्रीन पे, और उन इंस्ट्रक्शंस को हम C++ कंपाइलर की हेल्प से कंपाइल करेंगे। कंपाइल मींस एग्जीक्यूट करना। ओके, C++ कंपाइलर आपकी उन इंस्ट्रक्शंस को एग्जीक्यूट करेगा, उन इंस्ट्रक्शंस को पढ़ के जो भी आप उस इससे कराना चाहते हो C++ लैंग्वेज से, कंपाइलर से, वो उसके अकॉर्डिंगली फंक्शन कुछ करेगा। In last class we have seen how to use some basic commands on this screen. How to use some basic commands of this C++. Okay, so the first command which I discussed was cout. Cout means, cout is actually command used for displaying output on the screen. Okay, cout is a command used to display output on the screen. So if, see, this is the basic structure of this C++ program. The program starts from this line 6 int main, and from these brackets, within this bracket, whatever we have written, whatever instructions we have written, the compiler will compile all these instructions. Okay, and these are actually files inclusions, actually header files inclusions. This second line means hash include IO stream. So IO stream means input output stream, that in our program, whatever header files we will be using, we have to include this header file in the beginning of the program. हम उस प्रोग्राम में जितनी भी टाइप के कीवर्ड्स यूज कर रहे होंगे, उन कीवर्ड्स को किन हेडर फाइल्स में एक्सप्लेन किया गया है, डिस्कस किया गया है, डिफाइन किया गया है, उस हेडर फाइल को इंक्लूड करना जरूरी है। जैसे कि इस प्रोग्राम में मैं आउटपुट देखना चाहता हूं, इनपुट लेना चाहता हूं, लेट्स से, तो उस केस में हमें इनपुट आउटपुट स्ट्रीम इंक्लूड कराना जरूरी है। तो सेकंड लाइन जो हैश इंक्लूड इनपुट आउटपुट स्ट्रीम लिखा हुआ है, ये इसीलिए लिखा हुआ है ताकि हम इनपुट और आउटपुट फंक्शंस को यूज कर सके प्रोग्राम के अंदर, so that we can use input and output functions in our program. That's why we have to include this input output stream header file. This is called header file. Header file means the directory which will define all the functions in the program. Okay, all the keywords in the program. This using namespace std is actually, there are different type of namespace, there are different type of naming categories of these keywords. This cout will not be recognized if you are not using this line using namespace std. There are different type of namespaces. The standard is std. Okay, basically this is short form for standard, using namespace standard. Okay, otherwise, let's say, okay, first run this. See, you can see that in this simple program, there is only one statement, that is cout hello world. So this program, after running, this program is showing hello world as a output. Okay, I have told you in last class, whatever we have written in double quotes, it will be printed on the screen as it is. It will be printed on the screen as it is, because now we have considered this hello world as a string, as a text. Okay, moreover, this cout command is not defined without using this namespace standard. Okay, I will see if I delete this and if I run this, it will show me an error. This is showing error, cout keyword was not declared in this scope. Okay, so did you mean std, standard cout command? So if I write std double colon and then cout, then it will show, then it will run, then this cout command will run. But remember, now for this cout, Now for the cout keyword, I am using standard namespace. Namespace means the naming category of keywords. So for this cout, as I am using cout, I have to write standard type of cout. So instead of writing std, okay, suppose if I want to print some other cout statements like this, then also I have to use this standard cout. Instead of cout, I have to use this standard cout. Now you can see hello world and hi is printed. Both the lines are printed. Okay. So instead of writing this std continuously, repeatedly, what I will do is I will define these all these keywords by this command using namespace. Right. By using this command, I do not have to write std colon colon on all the cout commands as well as on all the cin commands. Okay, I have defined before the programs that whatever I will be using, whatever keywords I will be using, they will be from standard namespace. Right. Another thing I have told you, now you can see this is not giving any error, as I have before the program I have declared that I will be using my standard namespace. In last class, I have also shown you from this 8th and 9th line commands, these cout commands, you can see both the strings, both the text. This is writing the output, is writing both the command, both the text in the same line. Hello world, and without any space, it is printing hi. So for changing the line, I have told you we can use end line, ENDL. It's not one, it is end line. It is short form for end line. So as long as I insert this ENDL keyword after my first cout command, it will change the line of the output and it will compile the next cout statement in next line. So there can be we can, by using this ENDL, we can change the line of the outputs. Okay, so till now we have done this. Now I will be seeing, okay, we have also seen how we can declare the variables. Okay, let's first quickly recap this. So for this program, suppose you have to use some variables. What do you mean by variables? I have told you in last class also. What do you mean by variables? Variables are actually data types, you can say. There will be a different type of data types of variables which you will be using in your computer, in your C++ programs. Okay, let's say we have a variable A, we have a variable B, we have a variable C. So basically, whenever you declare a variable that I will be using this variable in my computer, in my program, then there will be some memory allocation corresponding to this variable A. Right? In computer, in your hard disk, there will be some memory allocation for this particular variable A. Okay. Similarly for B also, similarly for C also. There will be some memory allocation for these variables, and of course you have to, आपको इसको variable जब define करेंगे, तब आपको इसका टाइप भी बताना होगा. Either this variable of is integer type, or this is a float type, or this is of boolean type. Okay, integer means 1, 5, 8 इस तरह से इंटीजर। अगर इस वेरिएबल जो आपने डिफाइन किया है, जो आपको यूज करना है, उस वेरिएबल में आप किस तरह का डेटा स्टोर करना चाहते हैं, which type of data you want to store in that particular variable that you have to define. Okay, float में, like float means real numbers, like 2.58, okay, 3.142. These all are actually can be stored. These type of real numbers can be stored in float variable. Boolean will be only of 0 and 1. Boolean will be only of 0 and 1. उस data type में if you had defined C as Boolean, then it can store either 0 or 1. Right? So there are different type of data types for variables which we will be using in our language. So let's say I have declared a variable int A, int B, int C. Int is short form for integer type data type. So I have declared in this program, I have declared 3 variables whose data types are of integer type, and I can use these ABC variables in my program now. But all the data which I will be entering into these ABC memory locations, or you can say ABC variables, should be of integer type only. Okay, so this type of program was also given to you, and this particular thing, like I have written in this program, I have written int A, int B. This particular concept is called declaration of variables. I can say in this particular section of this program, I have declared all the variables which I will be using in my C++ program. Okay, so this particular section is called declaration of variable. So if these variables, if I want to give some values to these variables, if I want to give some values to these variables, then I can write A is equal to, let's say, 5, B is equal to, let's say, 3, and C को छोड़ देते हैं अभी. तो A is equal to 5, B is equal to 3 जो मैंने लिखा है, A is equal to 5, B is equal to 3 जो मैंने लिखा है, this particular section, this particular thing is called initialization of variables. Initialization of variables. Okay, so I have, before the main program starts, I have initialized these variables. I have given some initial values to these variables. Of course, these values can be changed. ये अगर जरूरत पड़ी प्रोग्राम में हमें, हम इसको चेंज कर सकते हैं, बट इनिशियली हमने उसको 5 और 3 वैल्यू दे दिया है, ए और बी कंटेंट को, ए और बी मेमोरी स्पेस को, ए और बी वेरिएबल को. ओके, सो लेट्स से in this program, let's say I have written C is equal to A plus B, right? In this line, I have written C is equal to A plus B. Now, can you tell me what will be the content of this variable C? Of course, it will be 8. 5 plus 3, 8. And this 8 will be stored in this variable C now. इस C में अब क्या value store होगा? 8. And if I want to see the content of C, if I want to see the content of this variable C, I can write C out C. Okay, as now I want to print the content of this variable C. As I want to print the content of this variable C, I do not have to write this C in double quotations. So this line, 16th line, C out statement, C out C will give me directly the answer 8. You can see now this 16th line, there is only single line of print statement, cout statement, and this line is producing an output of 8. And this 8 is actually the content of this variable C. Not the variable C, but the content stored inside the variable C, inside the memory location C. ओके अगर मैं इसको ऐसे लिख देता, अगर मैं इसको डबल कोटेशन में लिख देता तो इसका मतलब क्या होता कि मेरे को सी का कंटेंट नहीं चाहिए, मेरे को सी लिखा हुआ चाहिए। ओके फिर इसका वेरिएबल से कोई मतलब नहीं था। जैसे ही आपने डबल कोटेशन में डाला तो इसने तो इसको अल्फाबेट मान लिया, ए बी सी वाला अल्फाबेट मान लिया एंड एज इट इज प्रिंट कर दिया सी। जो देखिए आउटपुट आया सी, इसमें जो भी सी का कंटेंट था वो नहीं दिखाएगा, वो एज इट इज सी दिखा देगा। सो फॉर प्रिंटिंग द कंटेंट ऑफ वेरिएबल्स, so for printing the content of variable, the format is you can simply write the variable name, you can simply write the variable name. Or suppose instead of C you have defined this variable as sum. Of course you can define all these variables as like this, a b c, sum, difference, anything. So if I can write this sum is equal to a plus b, and if I want to print the content of this sum variable, then of course it will give me 8, right? And if I place this sum in this double quotation, then I can see my output will be sum, 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 not the content of sum, but it will be the, you can say, string. Okay, string means group of alphabets, string means group of alphabet written directly. Or you can modify this program like this. Sum total of both numbers is, okay, is. Now you can see what I have done is in this cout statement I have back to back used two commands. First, this cout double quotation, the sum total of both numbers is. Second, after some space, second, the content of this variable sum, and the content of this variable was 8. So if I run this program, this will show me the sum total of both numbers is 8. Now you can see that this output is actually created by two types of instructions. The first instruction is I want to print just this string, just this text line, the sum total of both numbers is, okay, and after some space I have manually inserted this space after is, and after some space it will show me the content of this variable sum. That's why my total output is showing something like this. The sum total of both numbers is 8, right? So this was our simplest program, but yes, we can tweak this program, we can change this program as per our requirement. Okay, so first of all we will be seeing okay, line comment and block comment I will explain later, but first I will show you the usage of C in command. Okay, till now we have seen the usage of C out command. Now we will see the usage of C in command. So okay, C out command. we have seen it is used to give output. Format is as simple as that. Cout less than. Okay, if you want to print any text as it is, or if you want to print the content of any variable, then something like this. Semicolon after each and every line. In all these programs, you have to place semicolon after each and every instruction, after each and every line. That is the standard used by the compiler. You cannot miss these semicolons, otherwise they will give you an error. Okay, so now this cin command, it is to take output from the user, to take input from the user, sorry, to take input from user, to take output from output, to give output to user. Okay, so the cin command format is simple. You can cin to any variables, like if I want to cin to a, then whatever just before this cin command, whatever you have written on the screen, that will be stored into this variable a, Okay, so let's see how I can use this cin command. Okay, so okay, let's say in this program, initially I have shown you, I have initialized these variables a and b with some number, but now I do not want to give these variables a definite number. I want to take that number from the user itself. Then what I can write is, I can write cout enter first number, right? And whatever this number, okay, this cout statement will give you a output enter first number. Okay, and the user enter some number from the keyboard, and whatever number is entered from the keyboard, I want to give this number, I want to store this number into variable a, let's say. So what I have to write is, I have to write cin into a. Whatever the user have entered onto the screen, I want to save that number into the variable a. जो भी नंबर यूजर डालेगा पहली लाइन पढ़ के, एंटर फर्स्ट नंबर पढ़ के, वो नंबर मैं ए वेरिएबल में स्टोर करना चाहता हूं, सी इन से हो जाएगा. सिमिलरली और सेकंड नंबर, दूसरे नंबर के लिए भी मैं क्या करूंगा, एंटर सेकंड नंबर एंड लाइन, और इस नंबर को मैं बी में स्टोर करा दूंगा. I will save this number, the entered number, in B. Okay, and then I will calculate internally, I will calculate sum which is equal to a plus b, and I will provide you the output, I will provide the user output, the sum total of entered number is, equal to sum. So let's see how this program will behave. So if I run on screen, it is showing enter first number. I will write, let's say 18. Now, as long as I am writing something on the screen, it will take. But as soon as I press enter, it will go to line 12. Okay, on this program, you can see the compiler will go to program as soon as I press enter. and line 12 is C in into A. Take input, take this number as a input and insert into the variable A. So जैसे ही मैंने enter किया उसने A में स्टोर कर दिया और उसके बाद 15th लाइन पे चला गया कंपाइलर and compiler has processed this 15th line C out, that means give output, enter second number. Okay, and again this is waiting for me to give any input. So let's say I have written for 27. Okay, again if I press enter on this 27, then the compiler will go to line 16 and the line 16 says that C in into B. Take this number inputted into variable B. Okay, तो B में चला जाएगा, उसके बाद वो इंटरनली सम इज इक्वल टू A प्लस B कर लेगा और नेक्स्ट लाइन पे सी आउट जो है द सम टोटल ऑफ एंटर्ड नंबर इज डायरेक्टली वो दिखा देगा. सो एज सून एज आई प्रेस एंटर it will show me the sum total of entered number is 45, right? So all the programs आप देखते हैं जो एक्चुअली जो सबसे बेस्ट एग्जांपल इसका जो है वो है कैलकुलेटर. आप कैलकुलेटर को ऑन करते हैं, उसमें आप एक नंबर प्रेस करते हैं, फिर प्लस का साइन प्रेस करते हैं, फिर दोबारा एक नंबर प्रेस करते हैं और इक्वल टू जैसे ही दबाते हो तो वो भी एक पीछे उसके बैक हैंड पे उसका एक कोड लिखा हुआ है कि फर्स्ट नंबर दबाया, फिर प्लस का साइन दबाया, फिर सेकंड नंबर दबाया और उसके बाद एंटर किया तो आपको एक रिजल्ट मिल गया. उसके भी बैक एंड पे एक प्रोग्रामिंग है. सिमिलरली the user will see only this screen. The user will see only this screen. Okay, the user will not see this program. This program will be written by coder, will be written by you people. But yes, this in this console, this output console will be seen only by the user. So आपको सपोज करो आपने एक प्रोग्राम बना के किसी को दे दिया कि ये आपका प्रोग्राम जो है वो समेशन आपको प्रोवाइड करता रहेगा, आप कोई भी दो नंबर डालो उनका सम आपको ये प्रोवाइड करता रहेगा. तो जैसे ही वो प्रोग्राम को रन करेगा उसके पास प्रोग्राम को देखने की ऑप्शन नहीं होगा, उसके पास प्रोग्राम एडिट करने का ऑप्शन नहीं होगा यूजर के पास, उसके पास जस्ट रन प्रेस करने का होगा. तो रन उसने प्रेस कर दिया, प्रेस करते ही उससे पूछ लिया एंटर फर्स्ट नंबर. लेट्स से उसने बोल दिया ये नंबर मेरा फर्स्ट है 456789. एंटर सेकंड नंबर 432156. ओके, ये दो नंबर उसने एंटर कर दिए और उसने एंटर किया और उसको दिखा दिया था सम टोटल ऑफ एंटर्ड नंबर इज 888945. So what I can say, what I want to say, we have just make a simple program which will take two numbers from the user, and this program will provide the user the sum total of this entered number. Okay, so this is the beauty of this C++ programming. You have to write a program designed for some particular task. Okay, and that task will be checked by the user. But in this course you will be the coder, you will be the user itself. दोनों काम आप ही को करना है, प्रोग्राम बनाना है फिर चेक भी करके देखना है उसको रन करके कि उसको जो हम चाहते थे वो बना है या नहीं बना है. Okay, similarly suppose in this program I want to also see the product of these numbers. So I will write product is equal to A cross B. But you have to keep in mind that this product A cross B has to be stored in some variable. I have written the variable as product, but I have not defined this variable product. So I have to define this variable also product. Otherwise it will show me an error. The product is not defined. So I have taken a new variable, a new memory location to store the result of this line 21. Okay, I have declared a new variable. मैंने एक नया वेरिएबल भी ले लिया है जिसमें मैं स्टोर करूंगा अपना इन दोनों का प्रोडक्ट, इन दोनों की गुना. और उसके बाद प्रोडक्ट वो कैलकुलेट कर लेगा. उसके बाद मैं लिख लूंगा सी आउट स्टेटमेंट प्रोडक्ट दिखाने के लिए सी आउट स्टेटमेंट द प्रोडक्ट of entered numbers is equal to product, right? And if I run this program, let's see what will happen. Now suppose you are user. Now I have written, let's say 13. Okay, enter first number. I have pressed enter. Enter second number. I have written 11, let's say, and press enter again. So this is showing the sum total of entered number is 24 and the product of entered number is 143. But yes, this output is coming in same line and it is looking odd. So this output is coming in single line and this is looking odd. So for that, what I can do is I can change the line after first instruction and line. So if I insert this end line and again run this program, it will give me output like this. The sum total of entered number is 24. The product of entered is 143. So by this program, now you have designed this program such that it will take two numbers. It will take input as two number from the user, and this program will give the user the sum total of these two numbers and the product of these two numbers, right? So if you complete this program, if you arrange all the functions, if you arrange the percentage function, divide function, multiply function, subtraction function, okay, then of course you can make a simple calculator using this program. But of course we will be doing a much higher version of all these programs. I am just explaining you the basic commands which we will be using in our main programs like cout command, cin command. Okay. Okay. So now for today's class, what we have to do is we have to learn these C++ operators. We have to learn these C++ operators. There are different type of operators which we will be using, basic operators which we will be using in C++ operator. But before that, what I want from you is I want a program, okay, a classwork for you. I want a program whose aim is to, first aim is take a number from the user and then after taking this number from the user, you have to display this thing, twice of given number is the twice value, thrice of given number is this much. So this should be your output and this should be your input. You have to take a number from the user and you have to display twice of given number is this, thrice of given number is this. So the best way to do this program is you have to first write a command cout to the user, enter number. Okay, then you have to insert this number into any variable, let's say a. Then you have to define some more variables, let's say b is equal to 2 into a, c is equal to 3 into a. Now you have you have now stored twice and thrice value of a to the variable b and c. Then you have to give the command cout twice of number is B. Similarly, you have to give again a different command, thrice of number is C, because B and C contains the twice and thrice value of A. Okay. And of course, for using all these variables A, B, C, you have to declare them first. For now, you can declare them as integer, int A, B, C. You can declare them in single line, int A, B, C. So this should be your basic structure for this program. Okay. You have to declare three variables. You have to take a number from the user into a variable A. You have to compute B and C as twice and thrice of this number A. You have to give the output B and C to the user. Okay. So please do this program, and then we will go to the these C++ operators, and we will see in detail how these operators can be helpful for our programs, right? So please do this. I will give you the basic this program, the requirement as well as the solution of this program. Okay, you can see in your chat box I have given you this problem. You have to do this in within 10 or 15 minutes. Take the screenshot of your